3, 2, 1. Yeah, yours is really delayed on my end.
It sounded actually pretty good.
All right, we should be synced.
All right, we're ready?
All right. Yeah, go.
Welcome to the first ever Not-a-Sode of Movie Garbage, where we have not recorded in way too fucking long, so we are recording this to let you know that we still have intentions to make the podcast. But I can't call it a half episode or whatever, and it's not technically episode 4, so it's Not-a-Sode. Hey, TM.
Nice.
Of course, I am. This is, of course, Ed Bobinchek, who we have not heard for a while, and I am joined with Mr. Matt. Hello, Matt.
Yeah, I did the bad guest thing and spoke first before being introduced.
You did not get introduced, and you talked. Shame, shame, shame. What are you, the lead host on Action Toon Bros? Oh.
Hey, I am the lead host.
Oh, there you go. See, you are. You answered my question.
Oh,
so,
you're calling me out already.
Yep. So
we have a.
You go ahead.
You go. Yeah, see, this is the podcasting in 2020. You gotta talk over each other every single time during the record.
Especially because we're not together, so we can't be like, making gestures at each other, because we are recording separately in each of our homes. I can't talk today, apparently.
Yeah. Just like that one, the one episode of Action Toon Bros that may or may not be out at this time. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Unfortunately, COVID is still a thing, and we are doing our part because things are spiking, especially here in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. So
yeah. We live in one of the top goddamn spreading ass places, unfortunately.
And we started off so well, too. Ohio was pretty damn good right off the beat. And then we're not going to get into why, because we're trying to keep things less political on our fourth ever recording of Movie Garbage.
This is the back door for Ed's political podcast.
That's right. Tune in next time, by the way, for that. Ed talks politics, where I just shout at you.
Yeah.
So it's no different than watching the first presidential debate.
Oh, God. Well, speaking of time locking this episode, we are recording this on Halloween 2020.
That's right, we are. It is a spooky day. But we are unfortunately not able to watch any fun movies, even though we have some good ideas. And Halloween would have been a fantastic time to watch a spooky, terrible film. Because nothing's more fun than a bad horror film.
Exactly. I was unable to because my TV decided to just explode yesterday. So.
Oh jeez.
So if I want to watch anything, I gotta watch it on my damn phone. But that's.
Oh no. That's like watching it.
Whatevs.
It's almost as bad as watching it on a PSP. Outdated technology joke.
Yeah. With a nice UMD disc. Those stupid ass things.
People make fun of Nintendo all the time, but Sony did that.
Yeah. UMD was the stupidest thing ever. So for this mini episode, the format is going to be we're going to have a couple of questions just to discuss for a regular chat as opposed to covering a real movie.
Yep. I'm hoping that we thought of our questions on the same subject, and it's not like two different, completely different trains of thought. Because
mine are all about like bad movie stuff.
Okay, mine is about that too. So hey, that gruesome twosome.
So I'll go with the first question since I have 5 more than you do, I guess. All right, the first one I have is: what was the first time you genuinely understood that a movie you saw was bad and a waste of time?
As in, did not like it, or?
Yeah, like the first time you when you're a kid, you're like, oh, this movie's boring, or oh, this is an adult movie, I don't like this. And like when you first actually say, oh, movies aren't just not for me or whatever. This is objectively a terrible piece of crap. Like a common answer for a lot of people is like Phantom Menace for a lot of people. Like, oh my God, movies can be bad. This is terrible. But I have mine if you want to take time to think of yours.
Yeah, go ahead with yours first, because
I have a very weird one. I have a very weird one. It was the Poseidon Adventure remake. I think came out when I was in like high school or so. I didn't look up the fucking time for when it was made. But like, it was so terrible and such a waste of time. I went to the theaters by myself and I paid for my own ticket. And I was like sitting there and I was just like, this movie's bad. This movie's a waste of my time and money. I can't believe I paid to watch this. It was like, the first time I was like, this is really, really terrible. It was a really boring movie. All the characters were stupid. I was like, wow, I actually understood, like, wow, this is a terribly written movie with bad effects and a terrible story and badly written characters, and this is what bad movies are. It was just like, oh, I hated the experience of it.
Nice. So
yeah, do you have one of them? Or what?
I do, and it's a little weird because I've always been. I feel like growing up, I worked for Blockbuster from about 2008 to about 2013 or 14 or whenever they basically folded, and so getting a bad movie didn't bother me as much because I didn't pay for it. I got a bunch of movies for free when I really started watching and getting into them. I saw a bunch with my friends, so even if I went and I saw a bad film, okay, well, I gotta hang out with my friends, so I had good mindset with it. But one of the few films that I've ever watched where I could not finish it and I hated the experience of it was White Chicks. And I don't know if it was the cringiness of it. I don't know if it was the acting, the plot, what exactly it was about that film. But I literally turned it off and said, I will never watch this again. And I was just like, this was terrible. And I hated every moment of this. But
nice. I looked it up. I was gonna say I looked up the movie, and I think it was 2005. So I would have been 15 years old. I think that was either freshman or sophomore year, possibly for us.
It sounds about sophomore. What, 15? We graduated in 18, so
we graduated in
freshman year. Freshman year.
Yeah, I was in theaters and it was fucking terrible. I hated it.
So yeah, White Chick does it for me. I just won and I got it for free from Blockbuster, so that tells you, I didn't have to regret. Yeah. Oh no, I paid for this. No, I didn't. I got paid to work at a place where they gave it to me for free, and I still hated it.
Yeah, I think I avoided watching that just because, like, even the commercials made me cringe too much. I didn't see that movie until, like, years after it came out.
It's bad. So, all right, my turn to ask you a question. We got one actually from a fan. We have one from Ed Bobinchak here, and he asks, what movie or movies do you absolutely not want to do on the podcast? And do you want me to go first? Or?
Yeah, you give yours. I got to think on this.
So, well, obviously White Chicks is one. But actually one I don't want to do for the podcast is The Room and possibly Battlefield Earth. And one of the reasons is, especially when we did Troll and everything, Troll 2, I thought about it for a second. And I'm glad we did it because I don't hear much talk about it. But I don't want to be doing the same films that all these other big podcasts are doing because we're just another little podcast doing the same thing that they are, and I want to break us out. And The Room is one that everyone has talked about. And the Battlefield Earth is more so. I don't think I can watch the movie for a second or third or fourth time. You and I watched it in 2 different sittings. It was terrible. Yeah. I enjoyed watching someone else watch it for the first time, and that's all the enjoyment I will ever get from that film. So if we do Battlefield Earth, someone's going to have to pay us $100. Which you can donate to at the Matthew Lewis Podcast Patreon.
Yeah, or just send Ed some money in the mail.
That works too.
Oh, God. That's a difficult question. Yeah, I'd say, not to step on another question of mine, but I'd say probably anything that's, like, particularly boring in its, like, badness, which is probably, like, like most bad movies from probably anything from like the 80s or 70s would probably be like boringly bad, and I would not want to cover those, especially anything too esoteric. Also, like, I'm a bit of a, like, freaking snob when it comes to stuff, and like foreign films, if it's a bad foreign film, I feel like my time was wasted much more than if it was a bad English movie that I could like zone out to and not pay attention to.
Because you got to focus on the subtitles.
Yeah, I got to actually the subtitles and actually understand the plot a lot more than if it was like something stupid that I could check out on like an English movie. I can hear it. I don't need to look at this shit.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, to not actually do a foreign film.
Specific ones, I guess, in the same vein as White Chicks, fucking Joanna Man, I wouldn't want to watch either. Actually, most bad like black aimed fucking movies are just cringy and shitty if they're like really badly made. So
the not the what kind of like the. I think the proper
Tyler Perry movies I would watch on this channel because I have a couple of Tyler Perry movies that we might do because they're just so fucking insane.
I know I've got one that I really want to do going forward. It's one I learned about years ago. It's like the only film I own on Amazon that I bought on Amazon Prime. So I think I still have it. And We might do it soon, so I don't want to spill it too much. But it involves a white lady and a black man, and that's all I'm going to say about it. If someone guesses it, tweet at Movie Garbage and make your guesses there. So
yeah, I have no clue what that is. What was another? I just think of another one I would hate to do on this stage. Any or too many. I'll save that because that might be an upcoming genre that we do for certain people. But anything that's too like try hardy, like Sharknado, would be a little too overt.
Yeah, that's a good
Maybe
one.
the later ones.
Yeah, I think the first one is one worth potentially looking into, or even the second one. Actually, I feel like the second one is. But it is hard with those because it's like, at what level can you take the piss out of something that's built satirical and is playing along with the joke? It's not as fun.
Yeah, because like I think what was it, the fourth or fifth when we started, and it was like in Las Vegas, and it was like, it was really really bizarre.
Yeah, those films get weird.
Completely not making any sense. I think like characters who were dead were just like there walking around with the rest of the crew at the beginning of it. It was just they didn't give a shit at that point.
They clearly didn't. So that's a good question, Ed. Thank you so much for the fan submitted question.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. That's a good one. All right, Ed. So my next one's gonna be. Tying into that same thing we just did for what your question was pretty closely. What genre do you think has the best and worst bad movies? Like, which genre has movies that are bad that you really like, and which one has bad movies that you really do not enjoy? I'll go first to give you a little bit of time to think on it.
I actually got my answers already.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we were just talking about it, like, pretty much just, like, probably as I was for the last question. But I'll say some of the best bad movies, I'll say, are action movies. Because they can be so absolutely stupid, but still very, very fun to look at. Especially if it's like a Steven Seagal movie where he's like barely like limp-wrestedly slapping people and they're like flying backwards, or like something really stupid where there's just a bunch of explosions that for no reason, like a car taps like a rock and it just explodes. Or all terrible action movies are the best. They're so stupid and they're so.
I was about to say that was my answer too, because it's not only like because they can be dumb, like plot wise, but still have fun visuals more so than a lot of other films. Like, and action film movies are sold on the visuals and the fighting and the stunt work and everything else in it. Like they can have a bad joke in it, but it comes across funny because this is a guy who just like leapt 5 feet into the air, did a Superman kick and then like midair triple flipped all of a sudden while running on air, and then he says something stupid, but it's still fun because it's like, oh damn, my adrenaline is going from that fucking awesome fight.
Yeah, and because of that stuff, the other stuff can be much stupider. Like if it's a really fun to look at action movie with like insanely terrible characters with nonsense motivations that can either, especially if it's like a bad actor, that's even better for a bad action movie.
Oh yeah.
So fun. But yeah, I was gonna say for worst, it's kind of a tie for me. I know you like them, but I really don't like objectively bad comedies because they usually just come off as like boring more often than not. And also romance. Like they can be fun, but like for the most part, a bad romance like it's October like we said. So the Hallmark 30 Days of Christmas where they just like generate 30 Christmas movies to have one each single day. They're so like flat and boring. They're all bad, but they're so dull that you could. I know I cannot even like look at them. I can't even have them like in my house. I can't. They're so.
My wife actually watches a lot of those Christmas films.
Yeah.
And honestly, I find the bad romance ones you can have fun at times because like Staying Alive is to me a drama romance film, but I 100% was super committed. I'm like screaming at the screen, Jackie, no! Why do you keep going back to this son of a bitch? No, you're too good, Jackie. Don't get caught into his web of pain anymore. Oh God, I was into it. For me, and I like I feel like it's hard because I feel like if I had to choose a genre, it would be horror. But it's because, like, they're the horror films that don't do anything. Like, those are the worst. Like, a horror film that is actually scary is good, But you also get the ones that may not be scary, but the idea behind it is so out there and whatever, it becomes dumb and fun. But then there are those horror films that are super safe, and they try to tone things down, and it's like you're just kind of cookie cutter, and I'm gonna forget you the second the credits hit the screen. And I feel like those are the worst kind of films to me, and in general, just films that aren't extreme. That's something I've been saying with because you and I are both big Monster Hunter fans, and I am excited for that film to come out. And I have said on the groups I'm in, because people are shit talking it before it comes out. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's good or bad, as long as it's not average and safe. Like if it's Transformers, we're fucked. If it's a really good Monster Hunter movie, awesome. If it's god awful whatever, that's fun too. We can drink and enjoy it. Basically, don't be a Wii Bowl. Actually, no, that's my answer now. It's anything that Wii Bowl makes. No.
You want it to be something Wii Bowl does?
No, I don't want any. That would be my answer to what are the worst bad
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
Anything Wii Bowl makes.
Yeah. So like that's practically just saying like cheap video game movies.
Yeah, I guess that's my answer. Cheap video. There it is. Video game films. So.
Yeah.
Mark it down.
Only two. The most recent two, Detective Pikachu and Sonic, are great.
Oh, I want to see Sonic so bad.
Detective Pikachu was great. Detective Pikachu was fucking wonderful.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
I was gonna say, I forgot what the hell I was even gonna say. Your question.
All right. So this is gonna be a quick and easy one. What's your favorite bad movie?
Oh boy, I'll need to think on this.
All right. So I'm gonna say right now, mine is one that I continuously, thoroughly enjoy, and it's Jupiter Ascending, because
oh my god,
that movie I unironically love. The action, I think the action is phenomenal. The plot is dumb. The MacGuffins are hella stupid. Eddie Redmayne, Emmy-nominated actor, is in it and is the absolute worst. He is channeling his inner Tommy Wiseau in that film.
Oh yeah,
and it's so enjoyable. Like, it's just so bad that I cannot help but have a fun time watching that movie. So Jupiter Ascending is 1000% a film that I love to death. And spoiler alert, we will be doing it on the podcast at some point, because I want a platform to talk about how much I love this film for about 3 hours. So look forward to our first 3-hour episode with that.
Nice. Oh god. I'm stuck, honestly, with that question. I'm stuck between two very cliche answers that like everyone picks, which I'm upset about, but like they're just too goddamn funny. I'm stuck between Birdemic and The Room. I hate how basic that is. I hate how super basic bitch that choice is. But like, I went on the spot. I had to think of a shitty movie. Those two are just completely. Like, I'm thinking like, what do I like? I quote them constantly to myself when I'm just like not doing anything on this. Like, I'm tired. I'm fed up with this world, or like. Or like, oh god, it's the Room is just amazing. I've literally watched it like at least once a year since like the Adult Swim thing where they showed it randomly.
That's right.
Like I think it was like 2012 or something like that when they first showed that just randomly, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I've watched that movie at least once a year.
I feel like it came out. It started doing that before, potentially, because I remember seeing it because they don't do it anymore. But there was a time where here at the Cedar Lee Theater they were actually playing it the second Saturday at midnight. When those midnight screenings, and I went to it before 2011. I know that much. I know it's before April 2011. So
it must have been a while ago when the Adult Swim.
I want to say we were in high school or so, potentially.
Maybe, I don't know.
So it might have been like late 20s, 2000, late 20s. Yeah, the late 20s. What we're in now, almost. Late 2000s.
Like, no, but like, that movie just gave me a surreal headache, and also same thing with Birdemic. They're so like basic, but I literally was like had a headache from laughing at Birdemic the first time I saw it. I literally like got myself sick with how much joy that movie brought me.
Yeah, I remember,
and I love watching it. Yeah,
I watched it
new
with.
People's always fun.
I like to watch it with someone who had never seen it, as well.
Yeah.
And I had never seen it, and. You were not there, unfortunately, but our occasional guest host, Chris Bow, had one of the most amazing reactions to the
I hear
45-minute
about this all the time.
sudden twist there, and it was so enjoyable. So, all right, what's your next question for me?
All right, my next question, kind of tying back to your answer for the one I had before. 'Tis the season, of course, as we're recording this, so I would say bad horror movies you've seen, preferably recently.
Which ones have
I'll
I
say
seen?
that. Yeah, no, like bad horror movies that you've seen recently, just talking about bad horror since it is technically Halloween when we're recording this.
Oh boy.
I would say, yeah, recently I saw, like before theaters shut down, I saw the Child's Play remake. It was very bad. It was worse than one of the worst. Like I think there were 6 previous Chucky movies in the last like timeline for this reboot. It was terrible. It was very boring. I'm very upset that Mark Hamill was the voice of Chucky because he's great, but the Chucky wasn't possessed. It was just like a malfunctioning AI and a dumb doll.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, it didn't look as like good as it was. I'm pretty sure it was. It was not completely CGI. It was actually like a practical puppet most of the time, but like the face did not look as good as the old puppet because like that one looked genuinely like a Cabbage Patch doll, which is the whole point of the spoof of it. But yeah, that series I loved, but that fucking movie was so bad and such a disappointment. Another one that I always get conflated with each other are The Bye Bye Man and Don't Knock Twice. Both were absolutely shitty, but like a funny YouTuber I follow just keeps saying like, "Beware the Don't Knock Twice Man." So now it's just like that's what they are to me now. They just conflated to the Don't Knock Twice Man.
I will say I've not watched many films recently as much, and with everything going on, and I really haven't watched many horror films because I don't like to watch them alone. Not because I'm afraid. I just don't enjoy watching horror films alone just because it's not as fun, you know.
Yeah. You need somebody.
The last one I think I saw was that one we watched that we thought was Truth or Dare, but it was Dare.
It was called Truth or Dare as well, but
it was like Dare and Truth or something, and it was.
I think it might even have. Yeah.
That was a pretty bad film, but I enjoyed it.
Wait, was everybody with us, or was that just me and you? Was Chris and Ben with us on that one?
I can't remember.
I think they were. We were watching it in the apartment where, I think it was like we put on Freddy vs. Jason afterwards.
Huh. Oh, that's right, we did. That was also a film we watched, and I, again, thoroughly enjoyed that. So
that was fun. That's a great
so
movie.
fun.
But like, yeah, but the damn that whatever Truth Dare or Truth or whatever, it was like literally
it's
put
Dare
out
and Truth,
like,
Dare and
like
Truth
a couple of months. Yeah, probably. It was put out like a couple of months before the actual big studio one was put out.
It was like watching Transmorphers instead of Transformers.
Yeah, literally. It was so terrible and so cheap. What was that terrible phone one we watched? Remember that? The app?
I remember that. I don't remember
it
the name of
wasn't
that movie. It was like,
something.
was it?
It was like Devilized or like Bedeviled or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it was like the app killed. But how did they kill you? I don't even remember that. I forget that.
It didn't make sense.
Conclusion of that film. It was so dumb.
Yeah, like a bad makeup man popped up in your house or whatever. They killed you. I don't remember what the fuck that was.
Oh boy.
Oh, that sucked.
That was bad. So, all right, I got another fan submitted question. This time from an Ed Bobinchek. I hope I pronounced that name
That sounds
right.
like a fake name. It sounds like a fake name. I don't know.
I might have pronounced it wrong. Anyway, he asks, what factor makes a bad film enjoyable rather than excruciating? You want me to answer first here while you think?
Yeah. You go first.
So, for me, it's almost taking itself seriously versus trying to play into the camp. Like, you will get films like Evil Dead 2 and stuff where they play into the camp and, it's fun, whatever. But more often than not, the best bad films are ones where the actors and the director and everyone is, they're like, we're going to make a legit movie. I mean, that's how you get Birdemic and that's how you get The Room. But you'd also argue, like, Jupiter Ascending, which I love, is the same kind of thing. It's why sometimes, like, all those spoof movies, like Disaster Movie and the later Scary Movies and Epic Movie and Meet the Spartans and all those are awful because they're trying to be funny and be in on the joke, but they're just not. And it's just painful to watch because like you said, a bad comedy where people are trying is funny. A bad comedy where people aren't trying is like the worst.
Yeah, genuinely a horrible experience.
Oh yeah.
I have to agree with you. Yeah, like the seriousness at which the director and the actors take it is like the most important thing with a bad movie or not. And like especially if you're watching something you feel like, oh, the director thinks that they're making something really smart. It's just like that's so much more enjoyable to be like an insane piece of crap. When they're like, oh, these actors are all like giving it 100%, but they don't know what the hell they're reading, and they like it's insane. But sometimes a bad actor who doesn't give a shit in a movie that's bad is also pretty funny. Like
that can definitely be good. But
Eric
I feel
Roberts, Eric Roberts in the A Talking Cat and the Christmas Puppy and the other movies. You're just like, well, my name's Duffy, and I'm a talking cat. And he's just like drunk and not paying attention. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I agree. An actor can make or break it as well, but I think it depends on how they are compared to the director. Because someone just trying to make a bad film, like if you get an actor who doesn't care, but the director does, that can be funny. Or if you have a director who doesn't care and an actor who does, that can be funny. So I think, ironically, people being on the same page there doesn't help the film sometimes.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the sequel to Birdemic 2 I never saw, but I heard it like had that like problem of the person trying to be funny at that point. Same with Tommy Wiseau's second movie, The House That Bled All Over Lisa or something like that. It had a really weird name, but like that. But like I never saw it because the review said like he's trying to be like in on the joke at this point, and so it's like that's not worth watching.
Yeah, it's the genuineness of their attempt. Like on one hand, you feel a little bad because I'm laughing at someone's serious effort, but at the same time, like
a lot of people put a lot of effort into it and money, but like,
I feel like unintentional humor is the best kind. You know, someone trying to do a pratfall is not as funny as someone genuinely just tripping and falling. It's why I laugh for my daughter's scorpions because I'm a bad dad.
Wait, your daughter what?
It's called a scorpion where you trip and you fall so hard on your face that your legs shoot up.
Oh.
It's called scorpioning. And my daughter is 3 and she does it occasionally. And I'm a terrible father because I find it funny. Obviously, I make sure she's okay and she has not been seriously hurt, so I can say this. But in the moment, I've got to suppress a little bit of laughter. But, you know. I'm never going to intentionally do anything bad, and I love my daughter very much, and I'm glad that she's never been seriously injured. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm a bad dad, but I'm not a terrible father.
Bad dads.
All right, your next question.
I'm about to say we're getting close to our like supposed limit. So did you want to like do one more question each?
Sure.
All right, so I'll let you end it out. I'll cut my middle question, which wasn't that good anyway.
Okay.
I'll go for the final one, topical of course, as the last one was. Yesterday was the Season 2 premiere of The Mandalorian. So, speaking of controversially bad movies, quote-unquote, I need you, Ed, to rank the Star Wars movies.
All right. We're going bottom to top, top to bottom?
Let's say top to bottom, and I'll say it's a little a little callback to the Action Toon Bros Star Wars episode, which I wish you were there for.
I very much wish I was there for. I yelled at you. I listened to that episode, and then I yelled at you for a lot of things. So
yeah.
I was very upset, but I did get to watch it with Chris, so that was fun. And he has never seen Star Wars until that movie. Well, he had.
Did you watch all of them, or which ones did we say? Because I remember we tried to watch 2, but we were like cleaning up your basement, so no one was looking at it.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't even watch those. I took him to see Rise of Skywalker, and he had never seen any of them. So, all right.
Boy.
So going from best to worst, favorite to this day is still the best Star Wars film to me, and until it's proven otherwise, will remain the best. The Last Jedi. That is number 1 for me.
I was gonna say, including Rogue One and Solo, of course.
Okay, yeah. Rogue One is number 2 for me.
So
actually, I'm trying to remember them all in my head here. The problem is those middle ones. I can tell you the tops and the bottoms.
Do you want me to? I would say I brought the question up to Ben in that episode, but I don't think I actually said my answer during it. So I was gonna say, I want me to list them because I have it listed down here.
Hold on. You're gonna hear me typing in the background.
Yeah, I'm about to say you're stepping away from the mic. You're a little bit lower.
Yeah, sorry, I was written on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I got it all. I got 9, and then Rogue One, and so I can do it real quick here. Because I've done this before, and I've got a good sense of it. All right, so from number 1 to number 11, you got The Last Jedi, Rogue One, Force Awakens. Let's see. This is where it gets a little tougher. Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, no. Return of the Jedi, then Empire Strikes Back. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Attack of the Clones. I screwed up here because then the bottom is Episode 1. New Hope's near the bottom 2. Solo is about a little bit above half, and Rise of the Skywalker is in the bottom tier above Episode 1 and Episode 4, and above Episode 2. So I gotta call that near the bottom, like number 7. I know I just kind of really just screwed that all up, but it's hard to.
I'm about to say, yeah. What was your bottom?
But my very bottom is Episode 1. It's too unwatchable. Rise
Your
of
list
Skywalker,
is almost like very similar to mine, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, Episode 4, I'm surprised that it lasts as long as it did because I don't enjoy it that much. Empire Strikes Back is still the best of the trilogy.
A New Hope is not good.
Return of the Jedi is just decent. Yeah, I honestly think Episode 2 and 3 are a little bit better than those.
That Endor shit, dude. It goes on for too long and is so boring.
It really is. But yeah, the newer ones really got me. The Last Jedi is phenomenal because it played off of your expectations and just wildly went crazy. And I loved, depressed Luke, and I loved all these twists and turns, and they had the best setup, and it just got completely royally screwed thanks to nostalgia, J.J. Abrams. So
yeah, it totally got undercut by fucking Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, so bad.
I was gonna say my number 1 is Revenge of the Sith, just because I think it is the most solid story in any of the 11 movies. I think Revenge of the Sith has the most complete arc from beginning to end. Stuff happens, characters change a lot, and it actually sets up the entirety of the rest of the world, of the series too. Number 2 for me is Rogue One because it's fucking a fantastically made movie.
Oh yeah.
Same with Solo right after that.
I got very emotional during Rogue One, even though we all know everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, I'd say that's like the most competently made of any Star Wars movie period is Rogue One. It's like absolutely impeccably made.
Oh yeah.
Solo after that because I absolutely fucking loved Solo's tone and everything about
so
it.
Good.
After that was Force Awakens, which I really really liked. After that for me is Last Jedi, which I didn't. I didn't have. I had a couple of like structural problems with it, but I think the subversion was wonderful. I think too many people got too pissy about it. And Disney really should have not listened to them.
They definitely got way too pissy about it. And you can tweet at me
Disney
if you
should not have
disagree.
listened to them at all. After that is Empire, Jedi, which were both whatever. I didn't really care for them. After that is Clone Wars, which is fucking dumb and bad because it makes no sense. and like the Sifo Dyas thing is completely fucking just dropped until season 6 of the goddamn show. Because like the entire first half is, what is this mystery? Who's after Padme? What's going on? And it's like, yeah, fuck that. Who cares? Like Geonosis robots. But like after that is A New Hope, which is a fucking boring piece of trash. I really fucking hate that movie. It's so boring. And then lastly is Phantom Menace, which is the worst piece of shit.
That's so bad. So it sounds like, by the way, that you and I are going to have to do episode 4 on the podcast and get a lot of angry letters.
God, fuck
tweets.
no.
We're doing it now,
boring.
actually.
It's so boring.
I think
it's
I know
so
our
boring,
May,
it makes
one of
no
our
sense.
films for May, we have to try to release.
Yeah, I was gonna say like my main problem with that is the main problem I have with a lot of people who like the nostalgia thing as well, but like just because it's the first, people are always saying, oh, the rest of the series wouldn't exist without it, so that means it's good, and it's just like no. Just because something's the first doesn't mean, because like otherwise any kind of movie competition, like, oh, that movie with the train coming towards the screen is the number 1 movie, none of these would exist without it.
Yeah. Jaws 3 is the first underwater 3D film, and it's the greatest. It's Jaws.
Yeah,
no, that is absolutely not.
Yeah, no other 3D movie should have any accolades. It should only be Jaws 3.
I can understand where, like, if you're, especially for nowadays.
I understand that argument, yeah.
It's definitely, I understand if there are, people older than us who would call episode 4 the best, but that's because of their experiences and what they've seen ahead of it. It's hard to argue with their, I can disagree with it and tell you why I don't think you're right, but it's why Last Jedi for me was so good.
I'll debate anyone who wants to come at me. I'll debate anyone who wants to come at me about New Hope. New Hope's boring.
All right. So I got one last question, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
So, and it's a very, very quick and easy question here, despite it being so long. Super one-word answer, yes or no. Are you open and willing to commit to a film without seeing it or hearing consensus on it before announcing it? So basically, looking at a poster or a picture of a film and being like, that's the film we're going to do next. I ain't going to read anything about it. I'm not going to watch it. And I'm not going to ask anyone about it. Are you willing to commit
for the
to doing
show?
That? Yes, for the podcast.
For the show or for like watching in my own time?
For movie garbage.
Yeah, I'll say I'll definitely agree to it because, yeah, probably because like recently, whenever I'm anticipating a movie or a game nowadays, I absolutely avoid every single piece of footage I can. If it's something I'm like for Cyberpunk or for the Spider-Man Miles Morales game or for Dark Souls, I go out of my way to not look up stuff just so because I'm anticipating it, and so I'll be surprised at all the like funness and goodness that's going to be in it. I guess same goes for bad movies for this podcast.
So that's good to know because we would definitely need to each hunt down a bad film and get it done. So that was fun.
Some weird shit. Well, actually, we do have something on the list after with our guest episode. Neither of us have seen anything besides a trailer, and I was like half watching that on Twitter. So
that is true. So
I don't know shit about that movie, but I don't think we said what our next movie is on the last episode we recorded.
Yeah, I thought we had. It was Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Yeah, the second one. I don't know if we said it. I have to go back and check.
I'm pretty sure we did. I feel like I remember it. I know it's hard to listen to yourself. I enjoy listening to myself talk about
I'm so conceited. I love listening to my old podcasts, especially during these times I can't hang out with my friends.
Yeah. But that is our planned film. Hopefully this audio comes out pretty good, and we can find time to record because we tend to ramble. Our little excursion here is reaching the 40-minute mark.
Yeah, I should have did those vocal exercises like I told you.
Yeah, well, I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel scum.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
It's a rebel just for kicks, as they say.
So, hopefully this has been a little fun thing here too, and if it's something we could always kind of do here and there, and maybe not make so many questions, and we can kind of each have one question apiece and expound on it a little bit. Expound.
Yeah. Expound.
Whatever the word is. But,
fuck grammar.
Yeah, exactly. I think these fun little Not-a-Sodes could be a nice little palate cleanser between things.
Yeah, I'm still paying for the goddamn server space for these podcasts. I might as well use it.
There you go. So thank you. I'm going to wrap it up here. So thank you again for listening. Hopefully we'll be able to bring more content for you soon with Resident Evil Apocalypse. After that, we are looking into potentially having our first guest. 1 to 2 people, depending on how the state of the country is and all these other factors. We got some fun ideas there. We throw out movie ideas here and there, and apparently now Matt's agreed, so I can bring a random film to him and surprise him with something in the middle of the podcast. Like, hey, we're going to watch this terrible Christmas film from the Lifetime channel that I've never seen or heard about.
Oh, God, no. I'm trying to pass out.
So I guess that's it. Anything else you want to throw out?
I guess probably do plugs.
Oh, yeah. So you can find me at Twitter, both Ed Bobincheck as well as at Movie Garbage. I don't think there's underscores between them. If you don't see my smiling mug on there, add the underscore. I will be more active when I get a little more activity thrown my way. I work a lot right now, and I work in repair respiratory equipment. So during a respiratory virus affecting the entire planet, we're set for a little bit.
Yeah, pretty crucial.
Yep. What
Speaking
about
of
you,
the opposite
Matt?
of crucial, my Twitter handle is Matthew Lewis Podcasts on Twitter, Matthew Lewis Podcast on Patreon, and all that other junk. Forgot Minotaur King wrapped up. Check out that first season. Freaking Action Toon Bros is on pause, but there's a lot of back episodes. Korra just on Netflix now, so watch that shit. Young Justice announced for another season, so catch the fuck up on our shit there. I guess that's all for me. Give me money on Patreon.
Definitely. If you enjoy what we do, make sure you go to that Patreon and pledge there. It helps keep things going, and the more money you give him, the more he's going to want to make even more podcasts and things for you to listen to, and invite that old Ed Bobbincheck on half of them.
Yeah, we can yell about Korra for whatever the fuck next series we're doing too.
I will gladly yell at you guys for getting things wrong, trying to say that they were fighting the spirit world.
All right, that's it for us.
All right, y'all. Until next time.
I don't even know. Do we have a? Do we even have an ending thing? I don't know.
We should probably come up with one of those. So until next time,
enjoy
this place filler.
Oh wait, no, it was Oof Magoof.
Oof Magoof. Oh yeah, that's right. So
it's been too long.
Until next time, I guess. Oof Magoof. Oof Magoof.
Oof Magoof.
Oof Magoof. Oh, and.